Hello. Hi, everyone. It's great to have you amongst us. We're very, very excited to start this webinar today. I can see lots of people are still connecting, so we may wait a couple of minutes before we start directly. For those who are already connected, thank you for taking the time to follow our webinar. We have lots and lots of interesting information, and you're going to have lots of questions to ask us as well. So those who don't know me, my name is Saskia. I work with my colleague Pierre.
Nice to meet you. I'm glad to be there today with Saskia.
We're in charge of the export division for Dilio. And we have our special guest that is with us today. Pass over to you, Leo, if you want to say a few words.
Hello everyone, I'm Leah Jabour, the new clinical trainer of Dilio. I hold a PhD in cellular and molecular biology, and I'm so glad to participate with you in this webinar. Thank you, Saskia.
You're welcome. Thank you, Leah, for that short presentation. Now, some of you may know her because we've been uploading lots of webinars lately. So she's helping us and will give you a real clinical approach. So do not hesitate if you have any clinical questions. She will be the one to answer them at the end of the presentation. I think we have nearly everyone connected. So let's start. So once again, thank you everyone for being here. We have wanted by this presentation to offer a complete coverage of all the interesting information around this new body layering concept that is exclusively created by Dilio. We will start with Pierre by introducing our groundbreaking concept. Then we will go into detail by presenting the state-of-the-art technologies that compose this concept. Leah, who has just presented herself, will follow up with all the patient expectations, and then we go back with the questions and answers. Listen up and enjoy. So, what is the Cristal Body Layering Program? Now, I bet everyone is buzzing to hear about it. And to be honest, we're very excited to talk about it today. There is a story behind this concept, which does go back and was erased thanks to the surgeon's analysis. Now, you have to imagine that surgeons have the possibility to tackle different layers thanks to their status and day-to-day interventions. What I mean by different layers are the fat, muscle, bone, and the skin. So therefore, they must analyze each area that will be treated. By each area, I mean, again, each layer. So in their approach, and with the non-invasive body layering surgeons, they had the same logic which reasoned to resuming from their initial approach. Now, they quickly wanted to integrate, in addition to cryolipolysis, complementary techniques such as toning of the muscles and or retensioning of the muscle. Their need was to tackle the different layers to maintain the balance of the silhouette on which they constantly intervene in. Now, with their approach in this area of, once again, non-invasive cosmetic surgery, they were able to easily adhere to our technologies and naturally integrate our machines. So from this, the body layering is born. Now, Dilio is also 10 years of exchanging, feedback gathering with all these surgeons who, once again, by their culture, have a global approach of the body. And for the first time, we have now the possibility to offer a real alternative, the proposal of combined techniques, bringing satisfaction equivalent to what the surgeons could do by surgery. Body layering, I must say, is a historical shift to another dimension. And actually with Pierre, we like to say it's a complete vision. Aesthetics for as many people as possible, for you to become who you want to be. Body layering has been created to offer a global and tailor-made treatment approach for the body of your patients. The concept is based on a synergy of 3 advanced technologies created, manufactured, and developed entirely by Dileo. We start with Cristal Pro that covers the cryolipolysis, Cristal Fit that covers the retoning of the muscles, and the multipolar radiofrequency to treat the retensioning of the skin with Cristal Skin. Pierre and I will go into detail of each of these technologies a bit later in the presentation. To go back about the body layering program, and for you to understand that it consists on different steps, to start, you will be defining an ultra-precise diagnosis with numerous patient parameters. Obviously, because we're combining different technologies, you will have different parameters for each of these technologies that have to be mixed up together. And then, obviously, from this will flow the elaboration of a personalized solution based on a dedicated treatment plan. There's also an information that is very extremely, I would say, important. It's to educate your patients around the Cristal Body Layering Program and the synergy, once again, of the technologies. You need to make your patients aware that to act on all the aspects of the silhouette, the combinations of procedures will be the perfect and is today the perfect solution to meet these expectations. Now, the tool, if I can say, that Dileo has developed and that we all are introducing today is this holistic approach with 3 key technologies to have an algorithm for the defined treatment plans, because everything will be following a shimmer of the technologies, the treatment plan, to combine and to result to patient satisfaction. But it is completely necessary that patients do have realistic expectations and understand that they will also have to make efforts to maintain post-treatment outcomes in the long term. Now, I'll pass over to Pierre, who will continue the explanations of this revolutionary concept a bit more in detail. Over to you, Pierre.
Thank you, Saskia, for this great introduction of the Cristal Body Layering Program. So I'm really glad to have the opportunity to talk about it today with Saskia and Leah. So it is really cool. So since the beginning of this webinar, Saskia has been talking about the concept, including the different Cristal technology. But how does it really work? Because each patient is unique. Each treatment plan will be also unique. In order to be as close as possible to the patient's needs, body layerings allow you to offer a personalized and quality treatment to your patient. Answering the question related to the three decision key allow you to define this personalized treatment. The first question is, does my patient have a fat fold greater than 2 centimeters? If so, I should prescribe cryolipolysis session of Cristal Pro. It will act on the fat and reduce the volume. The second question is, does my patients need to tone up? If so, I have to prescribe Cristal Fit session because this one will act on the muscle, but also helps to build firms and shaped muscles. Finally, the last question that you have to ask yourself is, does my patients need to firm up? If so, I should prescribe Cristal Skin session because it will act on firmness by reducing skin laxity to obtain a firmer skin. Once you have answered all of these questions, you will be able to propose the appropriate treatment program depending on patient's need. And do not forget that each patient is different. Now let's see some examples of different treatment combinations. Like Emma, she's an active woman of 30 years old who likes to take care of herself. She has a fat fold of 2.8 centimeters and she wants to tone her body. In this case, a doctor recommended 3 sessions of Cristal Pro and 8 sessions of Cristal Fit. Or we can take another example. Let's take Paul. a 45 years old active man who cannot manage to lose his little love handles and doesn't have time to exercise. He's looking for a non-invasive and a discreet solution. After the consultation, his doctor recommended to combine 8 sessions of Cristal Fit with 2 of both Cristal Skin and Fit. Excuse me. So his doctor recommended to have 8 sessions of Cristal Fit, 2 of Cristal Pro and Cristal Skin. Excuse me for that. So this example serves to show you that the body layering program can be recommended to both women and men, regardless of their age. What really matters is to know the needs of your patients and what type of treatments are best for them. Always answer the question related to the 3 decision keys that we have seen on the previous slide. Finally, I would like to present you the value of the body layering program, which are to respect everyone's natural beauty with personalized solutions, because everyone is unique. Ensure the patient safety and the best treatment outcomes has always been our top priority. Promoting innovation by staying on the cutting edge of technology with the Cristal range device that we're going to present you today. And of course, it is important to remind that these devices are made in France, a real proof of quality and reliability thanks to the French know-how. Now let's focus on the state-of-art technology with the groundbreaking concept, including the Cristal Pro cryolipolysis, the Cristal Fit electromagnetic stimulation, and the Cristal Skin to fight against skin laxity. So let's focus on the technical advantages that we're going to present you today. So this first part will give you more knowledge regarding the latest innovation of cryolipolysis made in Delio, the Cristal Pro. As you know, we have more than 10 years in the aesthetic medicine industry. Thus, we acquired a strong expertise regarding our specialty, the body contouring. Thanks to our success with the Cristal Plus 5 years ago, we were able to gather feedback from doctors and the patients regarding cryolipolysis. So that's why the Cristal's device moved to a Pro version to offer a complete global treatment. As you can see on the right, the design is now more modern and luxurious, with major changes such as 4 applicators that you can use at the same time, the biggest temperature drop on the market down to minus 12 degrees Celsius, and of course, new morphological applicators for body and face area. So, as I told you on my last slide, one of the biggest changes is that this new version has now 4 applicators that can work at the same time. So you can treat up to 4 areas of the body and face during the same sessions, which is really time-saving for you and as well for the patient. Thanks to your feedback, doctors, we understood the need to have a device that's not bulky at all. That's why Cristal Pro is very convenient, with the cord directly integrated at the back of the device. So you can see them on the picture just there, with the black, champagne, cyan, and pearl cords. So in conclusion, the Cristal Pro is very space-saving and it will fit in every clinic. With this new version, you just need to plug the applicators directly into the cord. So it's also space-saving because these new applicators are especially made for each different morphology of body areas. So from the left to the right, you will find the face applicators, agate, amber, and jade. Then the body applicators, which are emerald, sapphire, and ruby. And finally, the flat applicators, amethyst. So these new end pieces are very practical, as I told you, because they are light and can be stored in small boxes. Also, you're able to see which applicators will suit the best during the pre-treatment session. Finally, and this is really important to remind that, they do not use any electronic inside, which means less malfunction issues. But Saskia will present you the system that Delio engineers have developed. So I will show you some pictures taken during the treatment. So as you can see, it's completely practical. So it's 4 applicators that are used at the same time. So we can think that using 4 applicators will be bulky and not convenient. But in reality, this is comfy for the patient and very practical when you are doing a treatment. I will pass over to Saskia as she will talk about the new patented CCDS system.
Thank you, Pierre. What a great bunch of advantages that you've already just put out for all of us. Now, I know many of you may know already the Cristal Pro. It's nice to give technical reminders and go back over the advantages. For those who have joined us newly, do not hesitate if you have any questions regarding all the information that we're continually giving you. Something that we do want to talk about is this unique innovation, which is the new cooling system. Now, we name it Cavity Cooling Diffusing System. It is completely created and patented by Delio. The engineers have pushed the technical limits, we can say, of cryolipolysis to offer more results to the patients. Because up to now, the first generation devices were equipped with pelt chip plates that I think you may all know of. And these only allow cooling on two sides of the applicator. Whereas this CCDS system consists of a refrigerant circuit integrated into the entire metal shell so that the cold is distributed 360 degrees throughout the applicator. And so therefore cools the entire fat skin fold of the area to be treated. This unique technology enables to cool the targeted area intensively, evenly, and securely during the entire treatment. Another special feature that is also integrated into the Cristal Pro is the ultrasound scanner. This scanner will allow better accuracy. We are the only ones to offer this add-on on the market. What is great about this is that you can measure the thickness of the hypodermis before and after treatment. Now, we will go over this a bit more in detail over tutorial videos to explain how you're going to be able to use this tool. But what is to know is that the ultrasound analysis allows a better definition of the treatment parameters for each of the treated areas, which will encourage automatically maximum results. Before, you would take a photo at the first consultation with the patient and have the patient come back for a checkup, post-treatment checkup, and you will take again photos to be able to see the differences and see the results between the time that has passed. But if we are completely honest, photos don't always allow the patients to visualize the changes. Whereas with this probe ultrasound scientific information, you will be able to register the scientific measurements before and after treatment, and the patient will be able to have a better visualization of this information, and believe me, it will have an impact. So if I resume, the Cristal Pro ultrasound probe will give you more precision because you will have a complete initial assessment, you will have a tailor-made treatment plan, and again, an accurate post-treatment follow-up. So again, this will have an important impact on the satisfaction of your patients and their desire to recommend your clinic and your treatments around. Now, another aspect that's also interesting to talk about is the intuitive and ergonomic software. The Cristal Pro interface makes your treatments much easier and faster to set up. The patient data is directly saved into the machine. You can have ultra precise adjustment of the parameters for customized treatments. As Pierre explained, regarding the suction levels, you can determine precisely what values you want depending on the comfort and the feelings of the patient. And of course, we have, as always in each of our devices, pre-recorded protocols. The Cristal Pro software allows a unique user experience. We like using the word unique because that's what Delio does work on, creating and developing unique technologies, concepts, and diagnosis so that each patient feels special. It has been designed, this software, and conceived to bring comfort and efficiency during all of your treatments. In a way, we've brought Cristal Pro to the next dimension because with this software, it is completely patient orientated. And this also goes through the adapted protocols. So as you can see, the protocols are listed here on the screen. These parameters are automatically integrated into the device. Our clinical department is constantly working on studies, investigations, trials to offer the most adapted, adjusted, and customized parameters for each treatment depending on each area. As you can see on the screen, the Cristal Pro has these protocols and parameters defined on each area, each applicator, for different temperatures, different suction levels, and different durations. But as they are integrated, it's completely time-saving for you. All that is necessary is to enter the patient's data's information, such as the name, the date of birth, the height, the weight. The interface will calculate automatically the BMI. You will have to select the area that you are wanting to treat, and automatically Cristal Pro sets the corresponding settings to launch the best and once again adapted protocol. I like to also inform you that we update our protocols constantly once clinical investigations are approved. So you will always be working on the latest valid data clinic approach that is the most adapted for better results for your patients. Now, something interesting to talk about again, the new gel pads. Now, you all know, I'm not learning you anything. Gel pads are mandatory for any cryolipolysis procedure. So Delio, again, had brainstormed, thought how we can also bring another aspect to secure the patient's experience, the patient's treatments. So we designed these new cryoprotective gel pads to comply with the new medical device regulation. And we're happy to say that these are classed as a medical CE, which will ensure you maximum safety and for your patients. How have we done that? We've optimized these gel pads so that their formula protects during treatments where temperatures can reach -12 degrees. Because we are going down in very deep cold temperatures, like Pierre presented earlier, we have to have gel pads that will protect your patients and you as users. They have a new flat format because for those who know our original Cristal device, they were folded and in a package. Here, as you can see on the screen, they are presented like this in a flat format, that will allow you to apply them much easier. And something we're very proud to mention is that they're entirely made in France, which will allow us a perfect control of the quality of each of these gel pads. Now, I know I keep on saying we new things, but it's true. We have this groundbreaking new concept that we've been explaining and that you are going to understand through the different devices that we're explaining. But precisely on each device and actually on each feature and each accessory that can go with the devices themselves, we constantly develop and want to offer you the latest innovations so that we always come out with something better and efficient. So again, something exciting that Pierre did give a hint about earlier regarding the applicators is that we have started the new year, with a new applicator that joins the large range, but having a large range allows you to offer treatments for every body and face area. So we can welcome along the line the Topaz applicator. Now, the Topaz applicator has a specific intelligent design to exclusively treat the thighs. It is like, I would say, the small applicator called Agat that is dedicated exclusively for the chin area. This Topaz is exclusively for thigh treatments. Now, once again, thanks to its morphological shape and slightly curved, as you can see on the photo. It is actually perfectly suited to grip onto the different surfaces of the thigh, but especially the saddlebags. We didn't have an applicator that would have a grip and cover the large surface of the saddlebags, but now we have with the Topaz applicator. So we've started off introducing the concept. We've gone into detail about the first step of the concept, which goes with the Cristal Pro cryolipolysis device. I'll now pass over to Pierre to continue and to go into detail regarding the second step. And once again, any questions, do not hesitate to write them down and we'll come back to you at the end of the presentation.
Thank you, Saskia, for all this interesting information that you provided. So for this first step. So let's now focus on the second step of our program. So after acting on the volume with Cristal Pro, let's focus on tonicity with Cristal Fit. So why did we develop this disruptive technology? Well, it's because of the feedback from doctors and therefore the need of patients. Today, we know that 40% of people say that they are moderately or not satisfied with their body, and 42% of them consider their abdomen to be the part of their body they like the least, followed by the side. So that's why the body contouring is a booming industry, and will grow of more than 8% per year by 2023. In order to meet the patient's need, we developed this breakthrough technology with unique treatment parameters, ergonomic applicators with a premium interface to offer never seen results. That's that we're gonna see at the end of this part. I wanted to do a comparative analysis of two different technologies, which are the electrical muscle stimulation and the electromagnetic muscle stimulation. So the electrical muscle stimulation, called EMS, consists in triggering muscle contraction with electrical stimuli. So those impulses are generated by electrodes which stimulate the muscles. However, this technique faces a main disadvantage. The electrical stimulations activate the nociceptors, which are the skin pain receptors. It is then impossible to perform treatment of high intensity, as it will engender too much pain for your patients. The results are thus limited. But what is the electromagnetic stimulation that is using the Cristal Fit? So the high intensity electromagnetic muscle stimulation does not produce it through electromagnetic radiation. Indeed, it uses low frequency magnetic waves that penetrate the tissue without being absorbed. The wave and the human tissues then interact according to the electromagnetic induction principles of Faraday's law. So this principle implies that every variation among a magnetic field leads to an electrical current. So these electrical currents depolarize the motor neurons, which are supplying the muscles with nerves. It will automatically generate the muscle contraction. So one of the main advantages of this method is that it prevents the stimulation of skin nociceptors. And I told you before, this is the skin pain receptors. Therefore, this is possible to perform high intensity treatments leading to better results without hurting the patients. Thanks to those benefits, the electromagnetic stimulations face an increasing popularity in the aesthetic medicine sectors. So, the Cristal Fit device is a body contouring system using high-intensity electromagnetic muscle stimulation, as I told you. This technology uses a focused electromagnetic field, with intensity measured in Tesla to trigger intense forced muscle contraction, similar to a real sport exercise, like if you are doing crunches or squat. This technology uses a specific range of frequency that doesn't allow for muscle relaxation between two consecutive stimulations. So the muscles remains in forced contraction. Unlike voluntary muscle contraction, forced and intense contraction are independent of brain function and are therefore much more effective. So the cells are then activated to build up muscle mass. So the body becomes more shapely and toned. So the volume of muscle fibers increase, called hypertrophia, as well as the number of or density, which is the hyperplasia phenomenon. And it is important to remind that a crystal fit treatment is totally pain-free. These induced electromagnetic fields activate the motor neuron to cause contraction. However, unlike electric stimulation, it doesn't activate the nociceptors, which are the pain receptors. It is thus possible to increase the intensity to achieve better results without causing any pain to your patient. So, what happens during a crystal fit session? Firstly, you will have to place the crystal fit applicators over the area to be treated, select the protocols, and launch the treatment. Once the treatment begins, forced muscular contraction will occur. Once the session is over, your patients may feel some muscular fatigues, just like you feel after an intense sport training. Do not worry, it is totally normal. How long does a crystal fit session last? On an average, a crystal fit session lasts around 30 minutes per area. During that time, your patient is free to read a book, listen to music, or simply relax. And of course, he can get back to a normal activity as soon as the session is over. Indeed, Crystal Fit is a non-invasive method without any downtime. This is important to remind that. So, is the Crystal Fit safe, and does it have any side effect? So a crystal fit treatment is pain-free, as I told you, and perfectly safe. So these techniques only stimulate muscles and doesn't affect any other surrounding tissues. Side effects are superficial, such as the muscle fatigue or soreness of the treated area, just like after an intense sport training. It will disappear naturally within 12 to 48 hours. Finally, how many sessions are necessary? So results vary from patients to patients, but it is generally recommended to conduct 6 to 8 sessions per area to get the results you desire. So now let's focus on the technical advantages of the device. So Crystal Fit introduced the highest Tesla intensity through an applicators through two applicators, of 5 Tesla instead of an average of 2.9 Tesla for the competition. So the electromagnetic field, excuse me, um, I was saying that the Crystal Fit introduced the highest Tesla intensity of 5 Tesla per applicators compared to the competition with an average of 2.9 Tesla. So I do not know if I have to precise that, but just in case you have two applicators that can work at the same time, okay? So the electromagnetic field of high intensity use a specific pulse frequency that allow you to treat all the area of the body in depth for homogeneous and long-time results. Then, thanks to the pulse duration of Crystal Fit, you can achieve longer muscle contraction, yeah, thanks to a 400 microsecond pulse duration that optimize treatment efficiency compared to an average of the competition of, I guess, Saskia, this is 300 microsecond per applicators.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Therefore, it means it's more intense, more deeper, and you have more longer impulsions, which results in a better efficiency. And moreover, our engineers have developed our own cooling system made of MPG liquid instead of air, which is less reliable and noisy. Talking about engineers, they never stop creating or innovating. That's the DLEO motto. That's why some new applicators are already being designed by them. I can give you a hint. It will be for the pelvic area. So let's focus now on the display. So there is a large screen with an intuitive interface that make all the Cristal Fit treatments easy. This device also comes with advanced features to help you with a comprehensive treatment plan, such as the patient's record that can be saved directly on the interface, but also, as I told you before, the pre-recorded protocols according to the area to be treated, as for the Cristal Pro. And finally, an ultra-precise adjustment of the setting for treatment, duration, frequency, and intensity to achieve customized treatment. And I wanted to highlight the point that this is a premium interface and it is very easy to use for you and as well for your assistant. So I know that for the moment, we give you a lot of information. That's why I will do a short summary of what I said on my previous slide about the Cristal Fit. So the Fit is using electromagnetic stimulation and not electric stimulation. Thus, the treatment is painless and still without any downtime. We have the most powerful device on the market with 5 Tesla per applicators, with a total of 2 applicators that you can use at the same time with Cristal Fit for more visible results. In order to maximize the efficiency of the treatment, we developed a long pulse duration of 400 microseconds, so a 33% increase of the duration compared to the average competition. And of course, as for Cristal Pro that Saskia presented you, the Cristal Fit is also equipped with patient's record and pre-recorded protocols within the device. Thanks to electromagnetic stimulation, you can perform high-intensity treatment for better results, as you can see on the next slide. So I find interesting to show you some pictures of the 2 first steps of the body layering program, so with Cristal Pro and Cristal Fit. So we have seen the first step with the Cristal Pro. So on the left, you can see that the patient did 1 session with the Cristal Pro and 4 sessions with the Cristal Fit. And on the right, okay, it's quite similar actually with 1 session of Cristal Pro and 6 sessions of Cristal Fit. So as I told you, what is recommended is to do 6 to 8 sessions depending on the area with the Cristal Fit. It will increase the muscle mass 1 to 2 months after the treatment. So it is a pleasure to pass over to Saskia for our latest technology, which is the Cristal Skin.
Thank you, Pierre, for all that information. So it's a lot of new information for all of you because we have been talking about Cristal Fit and the launch of Cristal Fit, but we've taken the advantage of this webinar to really explain once again the combinations. And what is important to remember is that we're talking about individually all these different devices and technologies, but like we've been trying to say from the beginning, what's extremely important is to understand how you're going to be able to treat all 3 of these together. Now, Leah will go much more in detail about combining depending on the patient's expectations. Pierre did give you a quick hint here with some of the photos. And I will go now into the presentation of the Cristal Skin, which is our radiofrequency device. So, Cristal Skin, generally, and numbers say 85% of women are affected by saggy skin. So, I mean, we can all say there's definitely a strong potential for rising awareness among patients about radiofrequency treatments. And for this, you can offer them Cristal Skin treatments. Cristal Skin, as we've been saying, is the 3rd and last step of the body layering concept. It is a multipolar radiofrequency device that will act on the texture of the skin, as the name does hint it. Its main indication is to restore the skin, act on its firmness by reducing the saggy aspect of the skin. This device is an extremely versatile body and face treatment. Now, after studies, we have got some numbers that inform us that from the age of 25, now 25 is young, collagen and elastin fibers in the body diminish. Cristal Skin will help fill this gap thanks to its high performance technology, because it's the latest generation of radio frequency devices. As for all of Dilio devices, we once again make a point of developing efficient but remaining non-invasive devices. Cristal Skin allows precise treatments thanks to its concentrated, homogeneous energy transfer with frequency levels to target the different skin layers. This will ensure an optimal temperature throughout the complete treatment, as this technology can reach 42 degrees in less than 2 minutes. I mean, honestly, high and fast performance is ensured. What's important to understand is the skin laxity and how it appears. Now, skin laxity is caused by fluctuation of the skin connective tissues. It can occur at any age, really, starting from 25, but it does intensify with age. And as we get older, elastin and collagen fibers, which are proteins produced by the fibroblasts, become scarce and their natural production slows down. So then that explains why the skin becomes thinner, loses its volume and elasticity and tone appearance. As a result, features of body and face seem to just fall, and that's why we say they sag. Skin laxity can also, though, occur due to a significant weight change. So treating Cristal Pro to start, destroying these fat cells that the patient had, can lead to excess skin and laxity. So this is why Cristal Skin is completely suitable to treat the recovery of these problems. Cristal Skin, as I've said, is a radio frequency device based on the emission of high frequency electromagnetic waves. The heat generates a tensor effect, which causes the elastin and collagen fibers to move closer together and to tighten back up. So you've got the procedure and the physiological effect where the age loses its tensioning effect and sags. Thanks to the heating and thanks to this tensor effect, you're restoring the tightening in the fibers. Thanks to neocollagenesis, new fibers are produced, and that's how the skin is restored and strengthened altogether. This remodeling effect encourages skin regeneration, which ultimately appears firm and toned again. On the other hand, radiofrequency, as I've said just before, does help destroy the fat cells that also may resist to other treatments. Dilio does ensure that fast treatments are always ensured with the Cristal Skin. The time is divided by 2 in average. It's extremely fast. And I've said before, with high performances, thanks to the quick heating process, you're doing fast treatments. So you doctors can increase the number of appointments in your clinic by day. Some other great points to talk about is that the Cristal Skin is adapted for all people, women, men, regardless, as long as their desire is to retighten their saggy skin while slowing down the skin aging effect. So people who are wishing to enhance the face contours, regain the oval shape of their face, smoothen the irregular aspect of the skin, and once again, also reduce the appearance of fibrotic or indurated cellulite that cannot be treated by a mechanical massage. So each treatment, as you can see on the screen, lasts between 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the area. And we do recommend a minimum of 6 sessions to obtain the expected results. But once again, thanks to this whole body layering concept and the algorithm vision you doctors are to have with each patient you have in front of you, personalized treatment plans will be defined during the patient consultation and will allow you to offer the adapted number of sessions per device per treatment. As mentioned, and one of the main advantages with the Cristal skin is that you are going to be able to treat the face and body areas. So to ensure optimized results, it comes with 3 different applicators, which will be suited for the different body and face areas. As you can see on my screen, you have here on the left, the small handpiece that will be suited for the mouth and eye contours, as well as the small neck treatments that your patients may want to treat. The medium handpiece will be adapted for the chest, arms, and thighs. And the larger applicator that you can see at the bottom here is completely adapted for big surfaces such as the abdomen or big thigh surfaces. Now, I presented earlier in the presentation that Cristal Skin is a multipolar radiofrequency device, and it adapts the emitted frequency waves depending on each of these areas that you're going to treat. So to explain, a frequency of 1 megahertz will penetrate very deeply into the skin, so will be efficient for thick skin layers such as the thighs, abdomen, and the arms. On the other hand, the Cristal Skin device will emit a frequency of 2 megahertz to penetrate the thinner skin layers and so be completely suited for the areas around the face. As you can see, the Cristal Skin has been conceived to optimize the space of your technical platform, because we are talking about technical platform, because we're often new combined treatments with combined devices and machines. So it's been created to be compact and have a light design, so allow you to easily move around the device and combine with your other body contouring treatments. It can be, as you can see on the screen, directly incorporated into the Cristal Pro, which will ensure you less clutter in your practice. As you can see here, it is completely adapted to be stored under the Cristal Pro. We add on here an applicator holder so that you can position the 3 hand pieces that I've spoken about earlier. And through the diamond of the Cristal Pro here will appear the screen of the Cristal Skin. So you can easily use the intuitive interface. Now, as we have presented, combining treatments and procedures is more efficient and drives, once again, to patient satisfaction. Cristal Skin sessions are to be conducted in addition to Cristal Pro, and Cristal Fit. But especially combining after Cristal Pro treatments will help eliminate excess adipose tissues, but also the saggy skin due to the loss of the fat cells. Now, radiofrequency contributes on the destruction of all these fat cells, thanks again to the thermal effect, which then leads to the tightening of that targeted area, depending on the face, the arms, the thighs. Again, a technical aspect that I presented during the Cristal Pro and Pierre spoke about during the Cristal Fit is that we like to maintain that all our devices have a technological efficiency with the interface. The interface of the Cristal Skin is extremely easy to set up. It's got an ergonomic system. In a few seconds, you can define the treatment time, as well as the frequency. So honestly, extremely easy for you, and once again allow you high and fast performance treatments. Now, to finish with some fast results, we have on average results appear after the 3rd session. They differ depending on the indication. If you've treated the smooth appearance, wanting the smooth appearance, improving the skin elasticity, and to tone and firm again the skin effect. But the thing that we can say is that the results are long lasting over time. If your patient comes back continuously and respects the number of treatments that you would have determined depending on your treatment combination synergy, thanks to these 3 key technologies, your patient will be satisfied with the long lasting results. Now, with any non-invasive treatments, we do recommend a maintenance session every 12 months so that you'll keep on encouraging the final aspect results to be maintained. So to resume Pierre and I's technological approach, we've presented the concept, explained the history, the story behind it, why and how we have come to this vision, how we're going to put it into action, and how we already have with developing the latest generation devices and a triology of platform combination devices with the Cristal Pro to remind to treat the fat, with the Cristal Fit to act on the muscle, and to finish with the Cristal Skin to act on the skin. So what we're offering you and what we're allowing you as doctors is to keep your patients coming back to your clinic, because you will be able to have an answer to every one of their expectations regarding their body and silhouette results. Thank you again for your participation. Write down all the questions that you may have regarding the technical aspect. We'll now pass over to Leah, who will go on to her side regarding all the clinical and patient expectation side. So thank you all, and stay tuned for the questions. Over to you, Leah.
Thank you, Saskia. What is interesting in the body layering is the possibility to combine many techniques in order to achieve a desired result. Here we will give you a few examples about the patient expectations out of these interesting combinations. Thank you. First of all, choose the right patient and the right indication. Women and men are both candidates for all of these techniques. They should not present any contraindication and be in a general good health. During the first visit, it's very important to determine the patient's needs, explain the concept of each technique and the expected results. We have to inform the patient about the risks or undesirable effects. After all these points, you need to determine a treatment plan. Give the patient information package and have them sign the informed consent form of the treatments. Accordingly, the key to success is by asking the right question. It's not who you treat, it's how you treat and how you get the desired result. Thus, the concept we present here in Daleo is based on three main parameters for body remodeling. First, the volume, and second, the structure and laxity of the skin. When we talk about volume, we mean the fat and the muscles. Many factors could lead to weight gain and a decrease in muscle mass and functions, but they're mainly caused by the unhealthy way of living where we eat junk food and have a sedentary life. As Saskia explained earlier, when we talk about laxity, we talk about skin loosening until it starts hanging, be it due to sun exposure, hormonal changes, genetic factors, smoking, and in general, an unhealthy lifestyle. And of course, as we age, laxity worsens. Plus, when the cellulite worsens, we reach a fibrous state. Here we need to work on the structure of the skin in order to get a smoother skin appearance. So first, you need to determine how to act on the volume. Should we lose some fat cells and or gain muscle mass? Second, you need to determine the level of the weakening of the upper top, which is the skin laxity. Thus, it's essential to also act on fibrous support to improve the structure. To treat the volume, it's important not only to know the patient's BMI on the day of the visit, but also to know the variation in the patient's BMI over time. In fact, a consequent weight loss will have effects on structure and laxity. In addition, too low a BMI, such as less than 18, will not process the volume. To do so, we might start with cryolipolysis session, 1 to 3 if needed, with Cristal Pro, followed by electromagnetic muscle stimulation with Cristal Fit. At the end of the treatment plan, we can ask if the patient is satisfied with the result he or she got, and then we will be able to refine the structure and laxity. As we can see here, some before and after photos of the cryolipolysis treatment with Cristal Pro after only one session on the abdomen of this man and on the flanks of the lady above, and some before and after photos of Cristal Fit 6-session treatment on the abdomen of 2 men, as we can see here. As for the structure and laxity of the skin, the quality of the structure will be determined by the severity of the cellulite level, from no cellulite dimples to very severe cellulite dimples. The orange peel skin effect of cellulite is caused by fat deposits that press and distort the connective tissue beneath the skin, leading to characteristic changes in the appearance of the skin. Cellulite can affect both men and women, but it's more common in women due to the different distributions of fat, muscle, and connective tissue. As for the laxity of the skin, it will be determined by the importance of skin relapse, from no skin laxity to a very severe skin laxity. Here, in this case, the radiofrequency treatment with crystal skin is the most adapted procedure. In fact, high-frequency electromagnetic waves will cause the thermoactivation of fibroblasts, leading to the contraction of old collagen and elastin fibers and the production of new fibers. The result is a reduction of sagging and of the laxity of the skin, plus a cellulite reduction with the relaxation of septa and the stimulation of lymphatic drainage. From our experience, cryolipolysis treatment with Cristal Pro, along with Cristal Skin, have shown some interesting effects on the cellulite. With this, we'll be covering the last step of the body layering. Here we can see few examples of before and after photos of Cristal Skin treatment. After 7 above or 3 sessions below, the skin is way firmer. Now, we will be talking about few patient combinations example. In the case of this patient, the structure was the most important parameter to treat because the cellulite was moderate to severe and the skin relapse is mild to moderate, representing 70% of the treatment plan. The volume represented 30% with localized fat deposits on the buttocks and thighs. As a treatment plan, and depending on the patient's need, we start by alternating Cristal Pro to treat the fat bulges on the saddlebags and Cristal Skin to treat the laxity of the skin. In the case of this patient, the volume represented 90% of the treatment plan because the localized fat deposits are visible on the flank, the abdomen, the buttocks, and the thighs. The laxity is mild and represents only 10% of the treatment plan. After this treatment, if the patient wants to work on the volume of the buttocks, some Cristal Fit sessions could be advised in this case. This example is close to the first one. We act on the 3 parameters: the laxity with a moderate level, the structure with the presence of a moderate cellulite, and the volume, which is the localized fat deposits on the buttocks and thighs. Here is a photo of after 7 sessions of Cristal Skin use, and we can see that the skin is way firmer. For this example, the 2 main parameters were the laxity and the volume. As we can see, the skin laxity was reduced and the skin tension is basically restored. For the volume, a second cryolipolysis session might be advised in this case. It always depends on the demands of the patient. Sometimes the patient wants the full package, fat, muscle, and skin toning, and sometimes they only have one desire. It's up to you to ask them. For this last case, the only parameter here is the volume. This patient wants to tone his silhouette and basically the abdomen part. To do so, 1 session of cryolipolysis was done on the flanks, followed by 6 sessions of Cristal Fit to increase his muscle mass, and the result is some beautiful abs. No need to work on the laxity nor the structure of the skin in this case. The take-home message of this part is to always assess, always combine when possible, and always set a detailed treatment plan for a better result. And most basically, do not forget to love yourself with Cristal Pro, Cristal Fit, and Cristal Skin. Back to you, Saskia.
Thank you, Leah. I hope you all enjoyed it. I know there was a lot of information, but it's important for us to transmit to you the vision that Dilio has, which once again is from the outcome from your work, from the doctor's work, and the feedback that we gather, and helps us determine our vision. And our knowledge is manufacturing latest generation devices, thanks to all our engineering team. So having your feedbacks always allow us to meet your expectations, to in the end meet your patient expectations.
I
So
guess we have
thank you, everyone.